boom, 10 of Cups on the bottom. And that's what we're in right now. It's like, as much as things may feel different, as much as things may be shifting, or you might feel like, I don't know where I stand right now, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're just as aligned as you have been. And that's not going to change, because you are alignment. And where you are right now and the person you are right now, you didn't get here lightly, you know? So trust yourself and know that you're exactly where you need to be. Yeah, these cards feel very, very calm. And as soon as I say that, of course, we've got action. Wow, big energies, y'all. And this feels bigger than the day. Like I just heard the year, 2026, like loud like that. And boom, first card out, the Fool. It's like, this is our first reading of 2026, y'all. And the very first card is the Fool. And this is a 1 year as well as a 10 year. I know a lot of readers will reduce it right back to 1. As far as, you do the numerology of 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 will get you to 10. And then you can reduce that further to 1 plus 0 and get back to 1. But I like to acknowledge both. So for me, it's a 1 year, but it's also a 10 year as well. It's an Aries year, but it's also a Capricorn year as well. And both of those signs are cardinal signs, which are the signs that lead us into each season. Like Capricorn is the first sign of winter, and Aries is the first sign of spring, as well as the first sign of the zodiac, and the new year. So that being said, the Fool is a very, very big embodiment of that energy of the fresh starts that will be finding us this year. And that's just what it feels like right now. It's like, allow yourself to be fresh. And if you're still carrying things from 2025, understand that's okay. Winter just started. Like literally, we're not even a month into winter yet. So understand that you're exactly where you need to be. Just continue to get clear on where you want to go when spring hits, where you're headed when spring hits. And make sure you're spending this first part of the year, this first quarter of 2026, make sure you're spending it. What is this? Stuff popping up. But yeah, make sure you're spending it getting clear and making room for where you're headed. You don't have to move full speed ahead into it yet, because understand that the energies aren't there to assist you in that the way they will be in spring anyway. You look around, or you go ask nature, the bear's still hibernating. The trees are still, the flowers aren't blooming yet, Things are still pretty asleep and storing up that energy and resting, so for when spring comes, that everything can start blooming and everything can hit. And, there's the new beginnings can really find us. So understand that you are a part of nature. So if you find yourself there, hey, be this Fool and just surrender. Surrender to the flow of things right now. And if that flow is telling you to rest, and understand that that's the most divine thing you can do right now. Just like when the call is to work, then hey, go do that. That's what you're here to do. Treat these intuitive hits and these divine guidance as the divine guidance that they are, and treat them as orders and requests directly from God himself, God themselves, the universe themselves, the universe itself. Don't get caught up into the labels, but really surrender to this divine flow and understand that you are a part of the divine flow. You are the divine flow. You are God embodied. You are the universe embodied. There is no separation, especially when you know who you are and you surrender to it all. There's only separation through resistance. That's the only way you can separate from any of it. And even then, that's an illusion as well, because even then you're just using your power to experience what separation feels like, but you're not separate at all, because you're using that God power, you're using that connection to it all to make yourself feel separate. That's how powerful you are. So be the Fool and surrender to the flow of you, and understand that that is the divine flow. And right underneath that is the Ace of Swords, or not underneath it, but on the bottom of the deck, which is the subconscious energy, is Ace of Swords. This is a wonderful opportunity to change your mind right now, to change the way you think, to change the way you view the world. and understand that that is your coronation. You change the way you see the world, and you understand from a truer perspective your connection to it all and where you stand in the grand scheme of things. Understand that that's putting the crown on your head, because truly understanding where you are and where you sit in all this is understanding that you sit right next to God. You sit right next to the universe, and that doesn't make you higher than anybody else. You realize that we're all sitting here together, that the throne is, this all is the throne. You can't get away from the throne, that you are divine royalty. Remember, that came out earlier. You are royalty, and I am royalty, and she is royalty, and the grass is royalty, and it's all God, and it's all the universe in different frequencies, vibrating differently and in different forms. But at the end of the day, oneness is the truth. So as you change the way you view the world and you understand your place in it better and more true, you put that crown on your head and realize that there was never any separation, and you were never at the mercy of anything other than your connection to it all and surrendering to the flow of it all. Just like the birds surrender to the flow of it all. Birds are not overthinking. Birds are not trying to figure out their purpose in life. Animals are not trying to figure out their purpose in life and whether God is real or trying to connect to this thing or that thing, you know. They follow their instincts. They follow everything that's within them, because everything they need is within them, you know. It's in their DNA and will be activated at the point in which they need it to be activated. And that flow is time and time again. And no matter how much these things change, the animals and nature and all these things continue to operate as such, you know. The trees aren't sitting there trying to figure out this or that or asking themselves, who am I? You know, none of that. They just surrender and they just exist. They are, just like I am, just like you are, just like we are, period. And that's it. Anything you try to put after that is a box, you know. I am black is a box. I am a boy is a box. I am a man is a box. I am tall. I am short. I am, you know, all these things are boxes that aren't even true or encompassing to the reality of who we are, you know. Because as I try to say I am tall to someone, I am short, you know. As I say I am skinny to somebody else, I am fat, you know. And it's like, that's the reality of it. It's all ever changing. And the reality of you is just in your existence. That's the one thing that doesn't change. You will continue to exist no matter how you exist, no matter how you show up. Your existence and your awareness is the thing that's unchanging. And that's the truth of who you are. Because no matter what, at any given turn, you can change directions, you know. If I want to, I can go and change my sex, you know. I can go become a woman, you know. That's a thing at this point. And it's like, it's all fickle. It's all, as soon as I close my eyes and I, you know, people have experienced all types of ways where they leave their body and they go to this dimension, this plane, that plane. And it's like, I'm not even this body. So it's like, the more I try to hold on and grasp to all these 3D things and physical things, the further away I get. So the truth of it all is that you just are, and that you, if you don't know anything else, you know that you exist. And that's the only thing you truly, 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 truly know anyway, without a shadow of a doubt, without anything, is that you exist. And that, yeah, that you exist. I am. Like, the more I learn, the more I realize that I don't know anything, you know. I have all these ideas and things that resonate a lot. And, you know, but there's things that come in next week and change things that resonated a lot last week, you know. I'm always changing. I'm always evolving. I'm always growing. And I'm willing to own that and own the fact that I'm an eternal student. And that just feels like the call right now. And it's like, yo, if nothing else, just hang your hat on the fact that I am. And everything else will find me in that process, because that encompasses everything. So be the fool. Don't be a slave to your awareness. Don't be a slave to your consciousness. Don't be in a prison of knowing too much. You learn all these things to live a better life, to allow them to supplement and complement what you already have going on, not to become at the mercy of them, or, you know, be hesitant to go in this way or that way, or be fearful to go in this way or that way because you know so much, you know. Ignorance is bliss. And if you can allow yourself to be blissfully ignorant without being actually ignorant, then you'll be walking a fine line and doing a perfect dance of being the fool, and understand that the fool is the beginning of the journey to the world and getting everything that you see for yourself. So allow yourself to surrender to the flow of you, and to the surrender to the flow of the universe and the world and God, and allow yourself to just be an embodiment of it all, and trust yourself and trust your connection to it all, and know that you will not be led astray, and that you will be caught as you walk off this cliff. And you know that, because if you think back to the biggest breakthroughs and a lot of the moments and any other leaps of faith that you've taken, you were caught. And even if you feel like you weren't caught, you're here to talk about it right now. So it's still a part of your story and it's still unfolding. So understand that you're exactly where you are. You're exactly where you are. And that, I wasn't trying to say that, but that feels significant for a reason, or that feels significant right now. And it feels like I said that for a reason. You are exactly where you are, and where you are is exactly where you need to be. So all you need to do is eliminate that separation, feeling like where you are is different than where you should be, or where you want, or feeling like where you want to be is somehow better than where you are. Because the reality is your present moment is all you have anyway. And you're right now, you're in the middle of an answered prayer. Even if you've outgrown that prayer, even if it's no longer in resonance to who you are, understand that you're in the middle of an answered prayer nonetheless. So I challenge you to ask yourself, to sit with yourself, even if you feel like where you are right now is the worst place in the world. Really sit with yourself and ask what parts of your experience is exactly what you were asking for at a certain point in time, you know? Even if that relationship has gone sour and has become the worst thing ever in the world, at one point, that was the best thing ever. That was all you wanted, you know? You were hoping that person felt the same way about you. You were like, wow, I really hope they love me as much as I love them, you know? And they did, and you got those answers, and it was everything you wanted it to be. Now it may not be, and hey, you can move and adjust your life and get to that next answered prayer, but understand that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be, and where you're going to be next is going to be exactly where you're supposed to be once you get there. But the present moment is never ending, and you don't get to the future any other way but through the present moment. So that being said, I love you a lot, and I don't know where that came from, but yeah, this energy is big. It's very, very big. And yeah, I'm all charged up. It's like, give it a rest, y'all. Go lay down. Please get off your back. Please allow yourself to be beautiful. Allow this process and unfoldment to be beautiful, because it's supposed to be. And that's all you need to do. And you continuing to be fearful or moving just in case, or try to force your way to everything that's literally already unfolding, is what's keeping it all away. Because what's unfolding for you right now is so divine, and it needs you to understand that it's so divine that it will not come in through any force at all, any amount of force you can muster at all. Because if it were to come in through that force, understand that at every turn where it's time to surrender, you're gonna remember like, damn, no, I gotta go hard, because last time I went hard, I got the results. And it's like, that's not where we're headed anymore. What's unfolding for you now is ease, presence, miraculous things, and like just the abundance of like, oh my God, like, whoa, like I'm literally God's favor. I'm literally everything. And it's like, that only comes through you surrendering, because that's the only way you'll be able to accept it as such. If you continue to force yourself, even if you get the results, you're just going to attribute the results you get to the hard work you did. And it has nothing to do with the hard work. It has everything to do with who you've become. It has everything to do with the grace in which you treat yourself. It has everything to do with the self-care that you give yourself. And all those things, all those truly 5D, truly high vibe ways of existing that you embody so well. So understand that the more you try to move backwards to the 3D ways of force and sleeping when you're dead and trying to just keep being productive as you can be, understand that you're keeping away everything, because these blessings need you to understand that they're blessings. They need you to understand that you are a walking miracle, that you are living proof. And not only just for you, but for others, because what you go on to tell other people when they ask you how you did it, if it comes through force, you're going to tell them, oh, I worked really hard. Like the same things everybody tells you already. I worked really hard, and, you know, I didn't sleep, and I did all, you know, all these things that just aren't where we're at anymore. So it's like, it needs you to surrender, like truly surrender, and like really lean into play, lean into presence. And that doesn't mean don't go hard. That doesn't mean don't show up for yourself, because naturally you know who you are. You know that naturally you feel the need to be productive. You feel best when you're inspired and you go do your thing. And that's what you're being called to do. That's it. No less than that, and no more than that either. Like, if you're not feeling called to do anything, or there's nothing for you to do, then relax, go breathe, go do something else. Don't feel like you have to be productive before you can breathe every single time. Because if there was something to do, you wouldn't have to force yourself to do it, because naturally you're a hardworking person. Naturally, you're a focused person. Naturally, you see it all so clearly, and you know what's waiting for you, and you know the gravity of everything you're here to do. So if all of that is considered and you don't feel called to do anything, or you don't have the energy to go being productive, you're simply just not supposed to do that. And the call is like, yo, give it a rest, please. Understand that you're keeping everything away. And if you continue to ask for answers, you're continuing to try to ask how to get from point A to point B, but then you're not surrendering to the flow of where those answers come from, understand that you're being the devil in your life right now. You're the one keeping everything at bay. It's not evil eye. It's not misalignment. It's not you're not being productive enough. It's simply you choosing not to surrender to yourself. You're not choosing not to surrender to the way the world works that you know it works. Like, it's like all you have to do is continue to embody what you know. Continue to surrender to what you've already accepted as truth. And it's like, if you didn't accept it as truth, you wouldn't even be here, because that's all we talk about. Like, I've never sat here and told you to keep pushing and that you can sleep later. And if you sacrifice now, that everything you ever wanted, you'll be able to rest later. I've never told you that ever. So if you continue to come back here, you continue to receive these messages, but then you continue to go out there and not surrender, it's like you're keeping yourself blocked and you're keeping yourself in a cycle. And I'm really charged as I'm saying this, but please understand that I need that message as well. Like, I'm not perfect, and I definitely have my moments where I don't give into it as much, but I definitely find myself in those mental patterns of feeling that way, and continue to question, like, damn, should I be doing this? Or, trying to push through resistance a lot of times. And in the end, the flow always ends up winning anyway, and I just end up getting frustrated. And it's like, we don't need to do that anymore. We can surrender and be gentle with ourselves, because we've done the work to be able to do that. And it's like, all we're being asked to do is enjoy the fruits of our labor, which is a life of ease, a life of miracles, a life of flow, a life of abundance, and a life where miracles and synchronicities and angel numbers and all the magic is ever present. And that's the truth of where we are anyway. So it's like, all you're being asked to do is allow that to be the case, period. You're not being asked to do anything else or to do anything action oriented at all. It's really like lean into that divine feminine of just receiving, of understanding that you're worthy of receiving it all, just because you exist, because I am. Not because I am a good person, not because I am a hardworking person, not because I am faithful and loyal and nice and kind and I do good things, but simply because I am, period. Because I exist and I am God embodied. I'm a part of all these things. And that is the truth. So give it a rest, lay down, and know that when it's time to move forward, look at what's up here. We've got a whitish blue handle over here. Oh no, we got a blue handle here, which feels like water, energy. We've got a whitish handle here, which feels like air. And then we've got a greenish energy. We got a greenish jewel on the handle, which feels like earth. And the one that's underneath him that's yet to be used is action. Or not action, dang, I'm getting way ahead of myself. This energy is very charged. But it's fire, it's red, which feels like fire. And that feels like the only sword that's not to be used right now, or that hasn't been used, or hasn't been time to use, is the one of action. It's like the rest of them, it's like thinking about it, feeling it, experiencing it as it is through earth, And it's like the last one now is just, it's like it's not time to just be doing things. It's not time to force. It's time to rest. And when it's time to move forward again, you'll know. And that dance will continue to be the case. When the flow is for you to be moving, move. And when there's not flow in that direction, rest. And get used to doing that dance. And do it in small ways at first if you need to. If it's like, take a little 15-minute nap or take a break from doing something, just do that and see how it makes you feel and see how things unfold from there. And understand that as you continue to do that, you are the living proof, living the proof. So the proof that you get in believing all this stuff happens through you, but you have to make the choices and allow the proof to come back to you. And right under that is Queen of Pentacles. And understand that that's the only separation between you and everything that's here for you, is your willingness to surrender. And understand that it's not going to happen without surrender. You will not hard work yourself into these blessings. You won't. So the more you find yourself forcing up against it, understand that that's what you're keeping away. So the more you can surrender and the more you can choose surrender every single time and every single opportunity, the more it's coming in faster, the more it's coming in, and the quicker you'll see it show up for you. And it's here for you. It's time for you to enjoy all of this. Look, I'm being called to this bunny, and that just feels like fertility. And it's like, you're very fertile right now. Everything you touch right now is going to win, is going to come back sevens. Like I'm being called to that card earlier. It's going to come back jackpot, you know, winner, 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 winner. Like, but you have to surrender and treat yourself as such and know who you are. And look, the GOAT at the top. It's like, you're the GOAT. You're literally the greatest of all time. And that doesn't mean other people are less than you. We're all the greatest of all time. The only separation between me and you is where you know yourself to be at. And if you know yourself to the level in which that's the truth of who you are, then you realize that you're the GOAT too. And you wouldn't take me claiming myself as the GOAT, claiming myself as God, claiming myself as all that as, you know, as an attack on you or an attack on religion or attack on anything, because it's like, yo, if you know who you are, you know that there's no separation. And all things teach that, you know. Even Christianity teaches, you know, we're made in God's image. And all these other, and most other religions have an embodiment of man as God as well. So, yeah, just surrender. Surrender to you and understand that you are divine flow if you allow yourself to be. You're so powerful that you can get yourself all twisted and turned up if you allow yourself to. But that's not necessary. And right under that, our second ace of the evening. And look, and it's like we were just talking about that fire energy. And it's like wands is attributed to fire, the fire element. And it's like, here's your wand. And it feels like, yo, now it's time for action. And it's like, but it needs to be from the right place, not from a place of desperation or trying to get somewhere, but from a place of, this is what I feel called to do. This is what I'm here to do. And this is me showing up to do it because I want to, because it's aligned to me, and because I am, period. Not because I'm trying to get somewhere and because I want these things, or because I'm afraid if I don't show up and act that, you know, everything's going to fall apart. I won't experience what's here for me, because that's not the truth at all. So it's like, yo, this is your second opportunity now. The first one was an opportunity to change your way of seeing the world. And now that you've done that, it's like, okay, now that's the difference, you know? Your intention and your awareness is your vehicle to navigate this whole world. It's not about what you do. It's about the intention in which you do it, you know? I can do these readings with the intention of just connecting with you all and sharing whatever comes up. And that's a very divine thing. Or I can come in with the intention of, oh man, like I'm trying to build this platform so I can get rich. And I know like if I do this, I'll get to affiliate, and that I'll be able to start making money. And you know, like, it can be very that centered. And it's like, it's the same work, but the results will be very completely different in what I get back from it. And even how I feel in doing it. So it's like changing your mind is changing the way your mind operates, the way you see the world, changing your inner world, all that is the most important work you can do. Way more important than how productive you are and what you choose to do. It's the energy in which you do it from, and understanding that you're not at the mercy of any of it, and that it's all just you writing your story and getting from point A to point B. Because as long as you know where you're going, you have that clear destination in your mind, and you can see it, and you've experienced it, it's real and it's there for you. And now all you're being asked to do is walk the unfoldment and write the story to get there. But the destination is waiting for you, and you're heading in that direction as long as you keep that vision. And it's like, I'm being called to the GPS example that a lot of people use. It's like, when you put the destination in the GPS, you trust that you're going to get there. You just kind of follow the instructions as they come up, and you know, you don't question it. You don't be like, am I really supposed to turn left? I think I'm supposed to turn right. You don't sit there and challenge the GPS that way. You don't sit there and give it a hard time or give yourself a hard time and make it this figure it out thing. You just surrender to the GPS, to the flow of it sometimes. And a lot of times, you know, even when you feel like you know better, you still kind of like, I feel like I go that way, but I don't know, maybe it knows something I don't know, and you kind of surrender to it. And it's like, that's all you're being asked to do with your own internal guidance system, which is way more connected than a GPS in your phone. So it's like, all you're being asked to do is set that destination, which is already set. You have already seen it. You've already had the talks with God. You've already had the talks with yourself. You've already been there energetically and spiritually and all that. And it's like, yo, trust that as these things pop up that feel like where you're going, as you make those decisions, that's a GPS. Okay, left turn. You just make that left turn. The opportunity presents itself like, this matches where I'm going. Let me go, left turn. You're not going to be like, is this really it? Maybe I should not go over there. You know, you're not going to do that. Or you shouldn't, at least. So hey, this is your second opportunity. Now that you've changed your mind and you understand that you are the center point of your universe and that you can trust your internal guidance and your connection to it all, and that it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else and you don't have to prove yourself to anybody else. Now you can get up. Now you can go do your work, because now you'll understand, you'll move differently in it. And you won't press yourself to be more productive than you feel called to. You won't force yourself to do anything, because the more you force, the less inspired your action is going to be. The less inspired action is going to find you. And you're going to find yourself probably at odds with whatever this thing is that you're forcing yourself to show up for, because you're not allowing yourself to be authentic in it. So you're sending the message to yourself that you can't be authentic in it. Because if you knew that you could be authentic in whatever this is, you would show up authentically. So the fact that you aren't showing up authentically, the fact that you're forcing it, you're sending the message to yourself, to this thing, to the universe, that you cannot show up authentically in this thing. So naturally, you're not going to be called to it. So now you're going to find yourself doing it even less and less, and feeling inspired to do it less and less. And it's just a terrible gift, honestly, a terrible gift that keeps on giving. So yeah, now that you're surrendered, go ahead, do your thing as you were. And remember, as you continue to find yourself faced with that choice of surrender or force, surrender, please. That flow is there for you. And right under that, 7 of Cups, it's your world. You have so many choices ahead of you, so many options, and it's all waiting for you. And it's like, you're not at the mercy of making a right decision or a wrong decision. Choose what feels like you and what feels like where you're headed, and understand that it's going to lead there. All roads lead to where you're going. You're not lost. You are alignment. You are connected to it all. Trust yourself as the birds trust themselves to get where they need to go. Trust themselves to fly south in the winter as they do, and not worry that they're going to get lost, because they are connected to it all. They understand that oneness is the truth. All they have to do is do what they feel called to do and follow their instincts. And we're no different. So hell yeah, that was a doozy of a message. And yeah, I'm really grateful to even be able to present that to y'all. I don't know what, these cards, the energy is very charged. There's a lot being said today. And look, the Empress on the bottom. And this feels like a warning. Don't be distrusting, man. Trust that this is your world and you're connected to it. And with oneness being the truth, understand that this is all you, and you're not afraid of yourself. So why are you afraid of your world? Why are you afraid of your reality? And if you are, I'm not expecting you to just turn it off, but understand that you should be headed towards the direction of feeling safe. Understand that you're not at the mercy of any of these things. If you understand that you're God embodied, you understand that oneness is the truth and there's no separation, why are you fearful of this world? And that's something that can be answered from within, because I feel you wouldn't be afraid of this world if you weren't afraid of certain parts of yourself, honestly, because there is no separation, All these things just mirror back our relationship to our inner world, because the universe is within us just as much as it's without us. So that being said, oh, and look, I'm being called to Aries energy again. We got 2 Rams here. It's like, yo, allow this to be a fresh start. Allow this to be day 1. Allow this to be a beginning. And yeah, the other cards that came out are cards I feel like I haven't seen in a while. 4 of Cups. And this just feels like, yeah, keep your eyes open this week. Now that you moved a lot of this energy around and it feels like blocks have been removed and released, understand that a blessing that's been trying to come in is going to come right in now. Understand that you're in resonance to a real divine offering that's been trying to come in, like it's literally been sitting here waiting, and you keeping your eyes closed has been blocking it. But it's like, we're going to keep waiting here until you're ready. Like, whenever you're ready, you're going to open your eyes and you're going to see it. But you have to open your eyes. It's not anything that somebody can do for you. But it feels like your eyes are open now. So just enjoy it. Continue to choose surrender. Choose to continue choosing the things that feel like you and that feel divine, that feel like everywhere you're going. And trust that whatever this opportunity is going to fall right into your experience, just like that. And all you have to do is accept it and allow it. And also came out as 10 of Swords. And this feels like, now that you made these shifts, allow these past versions of you, this past version of you, to die. Allow it to fall away. And everything that belongs to it, to him or her, to them, allow it to fall away as well. And understand that things might fall away. Relationships, dynamics, you name it, cycles, whatever, may fall away were only in resonance to this old version of you. If it doesn't match you knowing who you are and your connection to it all, it will crumble and fall away. And all you're being asked to do is allow it to, and don't take it on as something being wrong, or like you have to fix all these things because you've known them. If it's a person, you've known them for hella long or for years, or you have to hold on to this job because you've been there for so long. Like, you can allow these things to fall away because they don't belong to you. And whether you by force or by flow, they're gonna fall away unless you choose to go backwards, because they're not resonance to you anymore. So if you're dead set on evolving and being this new version of you, you have to let these things go. The only way to exist with them comfortably and in resonance is to stay back with them, or to bring them forward with you. But understand that if you're trying to bring them forward with you, it's not just at the mercy of you. They have to be ready. So you might find yourself pulling and waiting for very, very long, when it's like you can just let these things fall away and trust that things that are resonant to you will replace them. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. The things you let fall away will be replaced, and your reality will recalibrate itself, and these things will come back in as things that are more in resonance to who you are. And that's something I continue to see in my experience all the time. And the last thing that came up is Knight of Cups. And it's like, have confidence in this process. Follow your heart. Allow your heart to be the GPS. Allow your heart to lead the way to everything that's here for you. And look, his eyes are closed. He's not leaning onto his physical senses as far as just what he sees with his eyes, because that can be misleading. It's like, what do these things feel like? Does this feel right? Does this feel resonant? Does this feel like the right way to go? More so than does it look like the right way to go? Is it presenting itself as a good thing, Because appearances, don't judge a book by its cover. Like, that's one of the earliest things you hear. And it's like a lot of the most profound truths sound like, little kids sayings. But it's like, follow your heart. Don't judge a book by its cover, Always give your best. Follow your dreams. Like, all these things are very, very profound truths that hold a lot of universal truth in them and divine truth in them. And it's like, trust your heart and follow your heart and understand that that's all you ever had to do. And it's like a lot of these things have put doubts in us and told us not to do that, It's like if we can't make sense of it logically, we can't trust it, is what a lot of things would lead you to believe. But that's not the truth at all. So, allow your heart to lead you in the way that it will and that it can. Because that is your GPS. That, along with your intuition, you cannot lose. I promise. Whew. This energy feels very big. And I'm definitely feeling it working on me. So this one definitely is going to be shorter than, the usual. And even that being said, I can't even see the timer. I feel like I'm going to say it's going to be shorter. And just like last time, it felt like it was shorter. And then I looked and it was definitely like 2 hours and some change. So I'm just going to surrender to the flow. But we're definitely going to start wrapping up soon. And look, on the bottom, King of Pentacles. And we had the Queen of Pentacles a little bit earlier, a couple cards ago. I think on the bottom as well. And it's like, hey, that divine feminine and masculine continue to want to be in balance. They continue to want to both to be present. It's like you have to acknowledge them both. And you have to hold space for them both. And understand that you are both and you have both within you. So it's like, make sure you're not leaning into your divine masculine super heavy just because you're a male. And make sure you're not leaning into your divine feminine super imbalanced because you're a female. But yeah, understand, make sure you're giving them both balanced time and energy. And understand that bringing them into balance within yourself allows your reality to become in balance, because your divine masculine, like I said, you got to protect your divine feminine. Even if you're a feminine, your divine masculine in your actions, the actions you take, the actions you don't take, is what allows you to keep your intuition clear, keep your guidance clear, keep your channel and your connection to it all clear, because the things that cloud it are your actions and where you put yourself and what you allow to take up space within your body and your reality, what you consume through your mental diet and through your physical diet, all of that. And all those choices are made through your divine masculine, and your feminine takes all that on So yeah, it's important to keep that in balance, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your sex is. Please look into those energies and how they manifest, and how you can continue to keep them in balance. And even if you don't feel the need to look it up, understand all these truths are within you. So you can find them by just looking at yourself, by asking yourself questions, by just, yeah, paying attention, honestly. So, yeah.